Students, in last video we had seen the types of sentences based on purpose. Now here types of sentences based on the structure. So that's a basic unit of sentence, right? It is most basic sentence, the group of words that expresses complete thought we had already seen, right? Here types of sentences based on structure. Sentences are categorized into four main types, right? That were also four: declarative, imperative, right? And here is also, that is interrogative, we had seen, right? Here also four types of sentence we are going to discuss, which are based on structure. And that's a four types of sentence or number and types of clauses they contain. So that is based on the number and type of clauses they contain. So a clause is a group of words that contains subject and verb, a subject and a verb, right? So here first sentence, simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, compound complex sentence, okay? Now first one is simple sentence. As name suggests that simple sentence contains only one independent clause. This clause does not, these are the, again let me revise, tell you that these four types of sentences are based on the number and type of clause. Please take care. Based on the number and type of clause, let us see what are they. So that in first sentence, that's a simple sentence, contains only one independent clause. An independent clause can stand as a complete thought. So independent clause, because it's independent, that's why it can stand alone as a complete thought, right? So subject structure is subject and verb, right? Subject and verb, single independent clause. Characteristics, it expresses a single idea, right? While it has only one clause. It can have a compound subject, a compound verb, or both. How? See, the dog barked, so single subject, single verb. Then Maria sings beautifully, single subject, single verb. Then John and Mary went to the park, compound subject, single word. Why? Because John and Mary, right? So this is a compound subject, but verb is single, that is went, okay? Then the children played and laughed. Here single subject but compound word. This is a compound verbs. Then the sun rises in the east, right, and sets in the west. Single subject, compound verb. Why? Because rises and that is sets. But subject is sun only. So this is called very good examples of simple sentences. Compound sentences. Compound sentences contain two or more independent clauses joined by coordinating conjunction. Right? How? What is this? Fanboys. Please remember this mnemonic. Fanboys. F for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So that is in short conjunctions you can remember. That's a coordinating conjunction, right? So that's a compound sentence contains two or more independent clauses joined by coordinating conjunction, that is fanboys, right? So here semicolon is used or a conjunctive adverb. How? Independent clause, that is coordinate structure is independent clause, then coordinating conjunction, right? That's a coordinating conjunction, one of them. Then independent clause, right? Or independent clause plus independent clause, right? How we'll see. Each independent clause could stand alone as independent as complete sentence, right? But they are related in meaning and are joined together. How? See, I want to go to the beach, right? Independent clause. But it is raining, right? Now, she studied hard and she passed the exam. So here two sentences, compound sentence, right? Then I did not like the movie. Nevertheless, this is the conjunction. He stayed until the end. You can have pizza or you can have pasta. So you can have pizza or pasta this way. The car broke down, so we called a tow truck, right? So these are the examples of compound sentence, and compound sentence contains more or two independent clauses joined by coordinative conjunctions, that's a fanboy, and joined by semicolon or sometime conjunctive adverb, right? So that is the structure, and characteristics is that independent clause can stand alone as a complete sentence, but they are related in meaning and are joined together. Why related? I want to go to the beach, right? But it is raining. Both are connected. Means your uh, going to beach is dependent on raining. She studied hard. She passed the exam. Because she studied hard, that's why she passed the exam. However, both the sentences are independent but related to each other. Next is, he did not like the movie. Nevertheless, he stayed until the end. So that next sentence clause is also talking about the same context, right? Same sentence is there that is linked, that he did not like the movie. Nevertheless, he stayed until the end. So the same topic is continued, right? In both the sentence, you can have pizza or you can have pasta. So that both are eating and related topics. So that is called compound sentence. Now next is complex sentence. As complex sentence name suggests, contains one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. At least one dependent clause is also called subordinating clause. A dependent clause cannot stand alone as a complete thought. Naturally dependent and relies on the independent clause for its meaning, and that is dependent relies on the independent clause. So dependent clause are typically introduced by subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunctions means that shows that depend on condition or something, right? For example, because, although, while, when, if, since, as, unless, until, even though, whereas. Or relative pronoun, all WH words. Plus that. The sister who is very adamant for the movie, right? So that's who. So these are sentences are joined by subordinating conjunctions, and these are the examples. And relative pronoun or relative pronoun. So that's a complex sentence. Just imagine two clauses, and clauses are one clause is independent clause, right? At least one independent clause or at least one dependent clause. More than one dependent clause may be there, right? And then Dependent clause cannot stand alone, but independent can. And dependent clause are typically introduced by subordinating conjunction, or that is relative pronouns, right? Structure is independent clause, one independent clause, then dependent clause, or dependent clause plus independent. That's a vice versa. Independent, then dependent, or dependent, then independent. Place it can be changed. Characteristics, it shows a more intricate relationship between ideas, often indicating cause and effect, time, contrast, etc. So complex is little bit complex, intricate relationship between ideas, right? Means cause and effects, cause and effect, right? Cause and effect, right? Or time or contrast. Example, although. As although word come means one positive, one negative. It was raining. We went to walk. We went for a walk. Means we went for a walk is independent. And although it was raining, dependent. So that is subordinating conjunction, although. I will go to the party, independent, if I finish my work, dependent, right? So first clause is independent. She cried, okay, because her cat ran away, right? So because her cat ran away, she cried. The man who lives next door is a doctor. Relative pronoun, the man who indicates the man, right? So that is relative clause acting as a dependent clause. Who? The man. So acting as the dependent clause. Lives next door is a doctor. Then when the bell rings, the students leave the classroom. So when, right? This situation, right? It's time. When is used for time. So then when the bell rings, the student leave the classroom. That is independent and that is dependent. Now last type is compound complex. Compound भी है, complex भी. That is contains two or more independent clause, and at least one dependent clause. It is essentially combination of compound sentence and complex sentence. Structure is little bit tough. Independent clause plus coordinating conjunction plus independent clause or dependent clause or dependent clause, independent clause. Just read. Characteristics, this the most elaborate and are used to express complex relationship between multiple ideas. Although I was tired, I stayed up late and I finished my project. Two things are, two work are going on, that although he was tired but he stayed up late and finished his work. He waited for the train that was delayed but it never arrived. So he waited for the train that was delayed but it never arrived. Since she loves to read, she went to the library, right? And she checked out 3 books. So then loves to read, that's a reason. Went to the library, then she checked out 3 books. So 3 things are together. The dog barks when the mailman arrived and it startled the cat, right? So dog, mailman and cat, three people, three subjects are there. Because the weather was bad, we stayed inside, but we still had fun. So many things are together. This sentence is called compound complex sentence. Okay, so that is very little idea about the sentences, right? Okay, so here today we have seen these types of sentences, four types of sentences. First is simple, second one is compound, then complex, and then compound complex. These are the four variety based on sentence structure, right? So that's our first sentence is, that's a simple. Okay, so that we have seen this is the simple sentence. Okay, based on clause, so that is there. Okay, wait a minute, simple sentence, right? Okay, then compound sentence, then complex sentence, and then compound complex sentence. So very little, but yeah, if it is useful, so that please send me message, and then we'll discuss it properly. Today is this video is made for someone, that's why I have just read it out, because that information is enough to him. Okay, thank you so much. Bye, good night.